Hello everyone, I am Ali Zafar and you are watching A-ZEE.
Friends, you have already seen the thumbnail. So let's begin this project. So first I begin this project with a simple acrylic sheet. I am making DIY cooling pad for the external hard drives. This thing is not only necessary for cooling the drives but to keep them safe. Friends, to be honest, I am making this cooling pad without any 3D printer and it is fun to make things like this. In order to make things good looking, it is necessary to cut the shapes with correct measurements. You see me using scale. It is very useful to make things accurate. Another important factor is how well you cut the pieces. If you do not cut the plastic pieces accurately straight, then your finished product will not look good. It will not give a sharp or professional look. My friends, I also suggest everyone to take safety precautions while doing work like this. In order to avoid sudden and uncertain events, we must wear safety glasses and hand gloves. As I tell you earlier, I am making a cooling and safety pad for external hard drives. First, I am making 6 pieces from a plastic sheet. I am cutting the cubes from each plastic bar. I am making the spaces in the plastic bar. These spaces must be thick enough so the external hard drive can slide between these spaces. I am trying to cut very accurately with original measurements. First, I need a total of 6 pieces of this kind. Now here's a question can be rise. Why I am making this? What is the need to make such thing? Am I mad? Did a dog bite me? Anyway, I will explain about this. Normally we place our external hard drive like this. And if we have more than one external hard drive, so we put it onto one another. I am sharing with you my personal experience. This thing damages the external hard drives. I know because I was using my external hard drives in the same manner. Until I come to know my hard drives' health are rapidly decreasing on daily basis. Then I observe what going on with my drives. So I come to know that temperatures are going up to 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. This happened when I used them on plane surfaces horizontally. So then I changed their orientation to vertical. This affects the temperature but not too much. Still temperature was going to 50 to 55. And it also creates another problem. It caused them unbalanced and can fall on their side with a soft push. So I need a solid thing that does both functions. The device keeps the external hard drive cool and also protects them from any harm. So now I am building that device which performs those tasks. I will also show the testing of this cooling and safety device. You will see what are the results. I will talk about testing and results video later or at the end of this video. Now let's get back to the video. So finally guys, I have cut a total of 7 pieces. I make one extra piece that will be useful in case of any bad piece or if any one of them is broke when assembling. Now I need some kind of platform on this server fan. On that platform I will set the external hard drives. So I will cut some more pieces and make them according to the shape of the server fan. Friends, it is important to use the right tool for the specific job. So sometimes there is a need to use a small saw blade. And sometimes it needs to use a big saw blade. So it can be very time consuming and difficult. But I invent a technique to do this in seconds. You can see here I put a rough piece of cloth on the saw blade. And hold the saw blade with it. Then I rotate the drill in reverse. This opens the saw screw without any effort and it is very quick. So in the same way I replace the other saw blade and just screw the blade with my hand. And then I change the rotation of the drill to forward, or can be said normal. So it tied by itself when I start cutting the plastic. How simple is that? No need of screwdriver. Friends, you can see I cut different shapes from acrylic sheet. These are not all. I still need some more pieces. But it is difficult to make them now, because it will need between my work. So if I made them now, the measurements can be wrong. I will make them between my work. Now guys, I am back to my workshop. Now I will start the building process. Before I start this project, I first make a design in my mind. The design is a very important factor. If there is a flaw in the design, then my purpose will not be achieved. So I will start making the device according to the design which is in my mind. Now you are seeing I am drilling and making holes for screws. Guys, I made almost all the structure using super glue, but here I use screws. The reason is, I am making the base of the structure. So all the weight will rest on this base. Screws give unlimited strength to any structure. Super glue is also a very strong thing. But here we do not have much surface contact between the fan body and the plastic acrylic base. So I will join the acrylic base with a servo fan using small nut bolts. So during this process I ask you to subscribe my channel. I make many useful things and share them with you. This is what I am doing nowadays. If you visit my channel you will find many amazing videos. So have a look. I guarantee you learn many new things. And if you like this project at the end of this video, so please hit like button. It will give support to this channel. Now before going back to our main project in this video, I should tell you that I have already made a video on the hard drives and external hard drives topic. You can see its thumbnail on your screen. And I also put that video in the suggestions at the end of this video. In short, in that video I have solved all the problems related to hard drives. So must watch that video. I have made a total of 3 videos on the hard drives topic. One that I just told you, and second is the same video that you are watching. And third is already posted on my Patreon account. The purpose is why I put that video on Patreon. Well, I will tell you at the end of this video. These 3 videos are very important. Thank you, and let's get back to the project. So finally the base of the structure is near completion. Now I will make the legs of the structure. It is necessary to give the structure some room at its bottom side, because the servo fan pulls air from the bottom to upwards. If it is placed on a flat surface, then there will be no circulation of airflow. To make legs, I am using a simple and easy way. I am using a little long nut and screwing it with 2 bolts. This is the easiest, cheapest, and most effective way I found to lift this structure from the ground. So I have given some legs to my DIY structure. Now it can able to stand on its legs. After making the base and legs, it is time to move forward towards the next step. Now I will join that 6 acrylic pieces which I make earlier in the video, which will hold the external hard drives on the cooling fan. We can easily slide any 2.5 external hard drive into this structure and can also slide out at any time. So let's quickly do this step. After this step there is the electrical part, which we will see soon after this process is finished. Friends, you can see how I am fixing every piece. Guys, I did not cut most part of the video. I know you want to see all process including fails and success. My purpose to show you the complete part without cutting so you can see each and everything. I mean which part is difficult and which was easy. You will learn a lot through my videos. I can also make video in less than 10 minutes. Like other people make their videos. But if you learn, this thing is much better for me than just showing you the end results.
Are you sure about that?
Now I need some more acrylic sheet pieces. I told you this in the earlier part of the video. So I will make more pieces which I will use in this structure. I am going to make the dashboard of this structure. In that dashboard there will be a fan speed controller, one switch, and one digital DC voltmeter. I will use that voltmeter to control the fan speed. I have used a 12-volt server fan. But I have 5 volts to run this complete device. So I will do some arrangements to boost 5 volts to 12 volts for the fan. Now it is the beginning of the electrical part which I told you about later. I will try to keep things not too simple and not too complicated. So you can see this is how I am making the dashboard of the cooling pad. I carefully cut the hole, which was the shape of the multimeter, and then fit the multimeter without any screw or super glue. In the same way, I will install the switch and the speed controller potentiometer. So I have started again the assembling process. I am almost near completion of the structure. Now just like the 2 pieces that I set on the platform, I will set 2 pieces on the top of that 2 pieces. I will use 4 small pillars to set the top 2 pieces. It will help to stable the drives and also to slide in and out from the structure. Now, in order to make this structure more strong, I will put small acrylic tube pieces under the hard drive holder. This will add 2 more supports under each piece. With the help of super glue I will join the server fan body with the hard drive holding section. I will do this very carefully because I don't want to have contact between the moving fan and the super glue. Now the design is complete. 2 pieces are left, which are needed at the back. That will protect the hard drives to overslide. I will set that in the end of this project. But now I will start the electrical part. I will first replace the iron soldering tip. Friends, I suggest the same. If your iron soldering is getting hot, but not soldering properly because of a bad tip, so you can replace that tip with the new one. Your iron soldering will work like a new one. This will cost you a lot cheaper than buying a new iron soldering. So, guys, you can see I am holding the dashboard, on which you can see a potentiometer, a switch and a multimeter. I am going to start making all the connections. I will explain to you, but I am sure you will find it difficult to understand the complete electrical part. So due to this reason, I will also make the circuit schematics. The circuit which I made for this cooling device I will put in the video description. You can find the circuit diagram link in the video description. As you know, I have used a 12-volt CPU server fan for this project. And the server fan has 4 wires. I only need 2 wires, which are red and black. The other wires are used to control the speed by the motherboard, and to give feedback about the fan condition to the motherboard of the computer, which we do not need now. So I will cut the 2 wires, which are of yellow and blue color. Now we have a problem here. We have only 5 volts to run the 12-volt cooling fan. So to solve this problem, I simply use XL6009 step-up boost module. What I am doing now is connecting the output side of the boost module with the positive and negative of the voltmeter and also with the positive and negative of the 12-volt server fan. So the connection of boost module output, multimeter, and server fan is done. Now I will solder the female connector at the input side of the boost module. Friends, let me give you some golden advice. Polarities are the key factor of any kind of circuit. So the polarities must be correct. One wrong polarity and the complete circuit will burn. You can also use diodes in a circuit as a reverse polarity protection. You can see there is a small potentiometer on the boost module. I will fit this boost module somewhere inside the structure, so it will be difficult to access this potentiometer to change the speed of the fan. And also these small SMD potentiometer are difficult to rotate. So I will do this. I will remove this potentiometer from the boost module. I have removed the small potentiometer from the module. Now I will connect wires at the place of the potentiometer. These potentiometers have 3 pins. So I will solder 3 wires at the place where the small potentiometer pins were soldered. This will give me potentiometer extension feature. So I have soldered 3 wires in the place of that small potentiometer. I will now solder the blue, yellow and green wires with the big potentiometer. That is on the dashboard. I am sure you know what are the benefits I get doing this trick. But let me explain to those who did not know the advantage I get through this trick. Using this trick I can easily increase and decrease the voltages of the fan. And by increasing and decreasing the voltages, the speed of the fan will increase and decrease. The speed of the server fan is directly dependent on the voltages applying to it. Guys, that small potentiometer I removed earlier takes around 15 to 20 revolutions to complete its cycle. But with this potentiometer I can complete the cycle with only 1 revolution. And this revolution is very easy to do than that revolution on the small SMD potentiometer. It's just like you are increasing and decreasing the volume of the speakers. And to understand wiring connections with the big potentiometer, you should see one time the circuit diagram, which I told you. You can find its link in this video description. Now I have temporarily applied 5 volts to the circuit, to check the circuit and module are working properly or not. So friends, you see how well the circuit was performing. The potentiometer was working perfectly. The module was also boosting the 5 volts up to 10 to 11 volts. But it was not going to 12 volts or above, because I used 5 volt and 2 ampere adapter, which is 10 watts in total. So what boost module is doing? It decrease 1 ampere and increasing 5 volts. When I rotate the potentiometer, so I am getting 10 volts with 1 ampere. If I want to get 12 plus volts for a fan, so I must supply power with at least 5 volts and 3 ampere adapter, which I will do with my DIY 5 volt 20 ampere charging and power station. Friends, I have set the boost module and tied the extra wires. Now I will fix the dashboard with the structure. I just use super glue to fix the dashboard with the cooling pad. Now friends, it's time to decorate this thing. So I will use some LED to do this. But before decorating this cooling pad with LED, I will make a special adapter cable to supply power from any 5 volt USB adapter. I will make a 4 pair copper adapter cable. 2 pair is for negative and 2 pair is for positive. Now I will join DIY USB type A connector with the positive and negative of the wire. The polarities are very important here. So I will put that DIY USB type A connector into my power bank. And check where I get the positive 5 volts. I will use my multimeter. If I put the multimeter probes on the side pins of DIY type A connectors, then it will show me readings of 5 volts. I just need to see which is the positive pin and which is the negative pin. So after pointing out this, I will mark in my mind those positive and negative pins of the DIY USB type A connector. Then I will solder the positive and negative wires with DIY USB type A connector pins. But before I solder, I will pack the 4 pairs of wire into a heat shrink, so it will look professional. I will connect DIY USB type A connector on the one side of the cable, and on the other side I will connect a male connector. So, guys, the cable is ready. As you see, I connect the DIY USB Type A connector on one side and on the other side I connect the male connector. And I cover the complete wire with heat shrink. So I have made a custom cable to run my cooling and safety pad. This cable is 1.2 meters in length. And that will be enough to reach to my 5-volt power supply. So you can see, I am checking the cable. And the cable is working absolutely fine. There is not any kind of issue in my DIY custom cable. Now friends, I will begin to mount the LED on this structure. That will make this thing super cool. And it will look amazing. I will do this part quick. Because the video length is already long. But I wanted to do some adjustable RGB stuff. With Arduino Nano, but that is currently out of my reach. If you will see the circuit schematic, so you will know the LED's arrangement as well. In short, if I explain. So I connected 2 extra wires to the input of the boost module. From where I will get 5 volts. And I have a switch on the dashboard which will on and off these LEDs. That switch on the dashboard I put only for the LEDs. After that switch, the wires will connect with 4 LEDs in parallel. And with each LED I put 100 ohm resistor. So they did not burn. But I suggest you put 150 to 200 ohm resistor between the LED and the positive wire. So you can see that I have completed the LED stuff on my cooling pad for the hard drives. Now it is looking much cooler. Friends, we are currently at 98% completion of this project. The only thing is left to fix the last 2 acrylic pieces. So I started that work to end this project. I am putting these 2 sets on the back of the sliding section. This thing will protect the external hard drive from overslide. I will quickly show you this last step. Because I am in hurry to show you the end product. One thing I forgot. I should tell you this little earlier. But I will quickly tell you now. This video also has a next part. In that part I practically test this cooling pad under different conditions. And also show the results and effect of this cooling device on the hard drives. You can find that video link in this video description. I put that video on my Patreon account. The purpose to put that video on Patreon is not to take your money. But to know who watched that video. Because that video also shows my private room setup. I don't want that video publicly viral. My main purpose is to know the names who ever watched that video. So friends, the cooling pad for the external hard drive is fully ready in front of you. Now I will set this on my table and show the end result. And I am sure you will be surprised to see how beautiful it looks. It looks like some put a decoration piece on the table. Now I have plugged the cooling pad USB into my 5V 20A DIY power station. So, friends, this is how it looks. At the end of this video I will say you goodbye. And I will see you next time. If you like this project, so like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not